Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 11 of the Web Elements series. Today, you're going to learn something that is really important for a web developer to use, which is how to create a navigation bar. This is the simplest form of navigation bar that I could think of. I'll do many more videos on the navigation bar, but for now, I would be teaching you this. So let's start. We'll first start with obviously with a folder which I'll name episode 11. And the file it will have is index11.html. And the other file is style11.css. I would close the sidebar, give them equal space. And now let's start. As you know, in the beginning, we can do only one thing whenever working with HTML. And it is just change most of the things that are there. So we'll begin with link because we need to link the file. So style11.css. We'll change the document name, the title, and I would name it Simple Navigation Bar, because I just named it what it is in real. I would also first save it and open it there. Okay, I'll just restart it. And as you can see, this is spread ahead opening the simple navigation bar. So now we can work further. As you know, navigation bars are mostly on the top. So we'll write them in the header. Header is simply a tag just like we have the body tag and HTML tag. And it simply denotes whatever has to come at the top of the web page. So in the header, we'll create a nav. Nav is again specially specified for the navigation bar. Like it is a special tag given to navigation bar because it is a vital ingredient of a good website. So I would give it a class name of navbar. And here I would add a div. But wait, I need to do something. I made a folder with the image and then the link. I'll show you why I have saved the link here. But this image, which is simply the logo of my channel. So I would simply take it and put it in this. Now we'll create a div. And I would name the div logo. In case you didn't notice, I had added the logo in the navigation bar previously. In the first form that I showed you before, just in the beginning of the video. So we need to add a logo. We can also add text. There is no such compulsion that we need to add a logo image only. You can simply write the name of whatever, like suppose Microsoft can simply write Microsoft there. There is no such problem. But I do have a logo, so I can simply use it. So I'll just create an anchor tag. Anchor tag is simply a way with which we can add links. Like I would show you. First of all, I will write here. So the image has been linked there. As you can see, there is the image. So I put an anchor tag because of this reason. I've put the link to my channel here in the links I may need file. So I'll put it here and save it. And as you can see, now I click on it, then it straight ahead opens my channel. So this was all for the anchor tag. That's the only use for which anchor tags are used. Also, I would just simply take it in a bit hereditary order. And now we have to go further. So we'll create another div for the buttons. Like they aren't real buttons, but I would regard them as buttons because they look like buttons in most of the navigation bars I make. But they would be simply divs. So we'll begin with now UL. You would be wondering what a UL is. UL is an unordered list where there is no sorting system required. And it will further contain list items which we write as li. There is also a type of lists that are OL, ordered list. They can be like sorted or given bullet points. Like not bullet points, they can be a numbered list and other such ways. And they have just bullet points in them. So I will write the name nav links. Then I may show you a shortcut which I've been using from quite a lot of time. And it is this. No, not 4, I would write 5. This simply tells us that ul.navlinks, which means ul will have a class name navlinks. And those navlinks, I mean the ul will further contain 5 list elements. Wait, I may do one other thing. Like we require divs first. So I would write divs. I haven't tried this one. Like, does it work the way I want it to? So I'll just simply try it in front of you. It went a bit further. Like, this was the only thing required in Excel. I'll rewrite it so that you can see once how it should. So I give the name navlinks, close it, div, multiply by 5. Like I require 5 divs, so I'm writing multiply by 5. If in case you need 4 or 5, then you can simply change the value. Then this, notice that I am putting a closing tag in that. Like not a closing tag, like a greater than sign. And now we'll simply write li, enter. And this is exactly what we needed. So in this, okay, I also had to do one thing. I know it would be looking repetitive. Sorry for that. Div multiply 5. Also, we need to give them the same name, which I would give as nav yearly, which is nav elements. Like it's a short form I myself made up. So there is no compulsion to use it. You can give it any name. And as you can see, it gave all the divs same value, with the same class name. Also will require to add anchor tag here, because in actual you will need to add an anchor tag. Here currently it isn't a compulsion to use it, but it's better to keep practicing what we need, that we'll need to do later on. And you can simply write hashtag here. Hashtag simply just changes the address at the top. Like they'll add a little hashtag as an extra thing. And now we'll write home, as home is a commonly used one out of all of these. And I would just simply copy it, paste it, and we can simply change whatever we need to write. I would write about. Now the next thing I would write is services. And now I would write portfolio. In case you do not know what a portfolio is and you're a complete beginner, portfolio is like a resume for a web developer or any kind of digital artist or something like that. And those are just websites which consist of all the projects and skills you have acquired throughout your journey. Later on, I would be posting some videos on how to create portfolios, etc. When I start working on mine, again on, I don't know how much time it will take to start that series, but for now, just stick to the series because you are going to learn a lot. So the next one is contact. And we are done with the HTML now. Let me show you how it looks like. As you can see, there are those bullet points and this, like Anchor creates this form. Let me zoom in. As you can see that it completely resembles what it looks like when we click on a link on Google. It's the exact same thing. So now you know that how those are created. So now it's turn for the CSS. Today, we will not start with the body. We'll start with an asterisk. Asterisk simply means that the property we are giving would be applied to everything. And you will see how it does. Like asterisk simply means it selects everything. Like wherever it would not be defined that what the value is, it would straight ahead take the value from this. And we have another thing, box sizing. You would be alien to this concept, that what a box sizing is. Box sizing is simply how far the box goes. Like I would later on show you in the inspect that what a box is. Wait, I can show you currently also. Let me show you. So when we do inspect and go to this entire is a box. Like we gave it it is a div, but whatever area is taken is represented as the box. So as you can see how further they are going. Now comes the body. We are not going to leave the body behind. That sounded weird. And I do not know why. I would make a little bit change. I prefer monospace. Thus, in the one I showed you before, it was using Arial, which is a sans serif font, which is widely used, but now I am using this. And I would give a background color of, let's do it random, like it was something F9, F9. It was something like this. No, let me check. Maybe it was F2, F2. Maybe this was the color I was previously using. It would appear later on. Maybe it was F4. But wait, it doesn't even matter what we give the color for the body. Now it's turn for the header, which is the lead artist in this project. So now we need to give it a color. I would give it a color of, again, random 333. Okay, it turns out to be the color I used previously. And then the color of the font, I would give it white color because the background color is blackish. It wouldn't be visible right now because we haven't affected the properties of those things like the UL, etc. They are still in the anchor forms, so they have text decorations. Now we'll give some padding. We have been giving a little bit padding, but I don't think I ever explained it. Padding is simply like an extension to a div or like any element. It is like an extension that gives some space around it. You would be confused between margin and padding. Margin simply gives that much boundary ahead, and the area isn't covered in that div. But whenever we are using padding, it also covers the area. Like if we end up giving something padding and then we give them a color, then the color would go to all that area also that is covered under the padding property. But for the margin, it wouldn't be like that. So now it's turn for the nav bar. So I'll write nav bar. And the first property we have to give is width 100 pixels and height 100 pixels. And as you can see, this is the width and height value given. You would be seeing that why is the image so big? Like it should be inside that nav, and also all these elements should be in the nav. You'd be working on it. Just give me some time. Now it's time for the text decorations to go down. So text decoration. Okay. The semicolon doesn't want to leave the cursor. So text decoration should be at none. And now the font size. So the font size value according to me should be for 24 pixels. Like it's the most standard value I would think of whenever I'm using font size property. It's the standard for me. So now we can give it a color, again white. And the next comes font weight, because I wanted to look better. So I will give it a font weight of bold. Let's save it and let's see it. As you can see, the changes applied. It is now bolder, bigger. All the text decoration simply took out the bullets. We'll go further to remove this Google click the link like system. Like I know it doesn't look good at all for a navigation bar to have it. Now we'll work on the logo. And I would first prefer to work on the image. So maybe I should just first create all that we would require. So now it's time for logo A. This would be for the anchor alone. Although it isn't that necessary to be used, but still. Okay, I would simply remove it. Now comes the nav links, which is a vital thing in our navigation bar. Now again comes nav links. but now its li should be affected. And now again nav links and a should be affected. And now comes nav elements. Okay, I forgot to put the dot. And now, okay, I'll do this one later on. I won't do it currently. So I would first begin with the nav links. So I should give it a property of, first of all, the problem we had that all those are arranged in such a vertical system rather than horizontal as it should be for a navigation bar. We would just do list style none. And it would simply get into how it should be. Wait. Okay. I forgot that I need to add another tag. I thought I added it previously. Now it will be. And it is currently here because of a reason that we have applied display flex to only the nav links and not to the image. So image and the nav links themselves are still under a block configuration. They are still in display block. So we would need to change it, which we would do. First, I would love to do whatever we have to do with the nav links. So now we need to give it a gap. As the name suggests, gap serial simply is what would be in between the elements. Like, it wasn't looking any good when they were joined completely together. Now let's do the things for the li. So I would do font size, which is 16 pixels. And I made them again small. But that is because I want to spice the things a little bit. So now we would do again text decoration none. And see this. Now it is normal, looking like normal text, although it isn't, but still it at least looks like, which we wanted. So now the color, which I would again give white. So it would be invisible for the time until and unless I take it to the navigation bar in actual. So you can't see it. So transition would be color, that to 0.3 seconds. And ease, I would give it easing out. Because to be honest, I never found any difference between ease and ease in out. Like, from the time I have been coding, I never saw any difference between them. I don't know, is it my lack of observation or there isn't really any difference in them. So I would give the nav elements a height which is 40 pixels and a margin which obviously has to be 0. Like, we can, it's a wish to give it again, like, for the best, because you don't know if in case you haven't put that star and then properties and then you are wondering why it isn't working properly. Okay, I would again give you a sneak peek of the elements. That's how they are looking. So display flex, justify content, and align items. These are our standard, like, I think VS Code should create something for me that I can simply do this in a shorter way although I'm pretty fast in it now because of the amount of practice I've gained throughout the time. So let's give you a sneak peek. This is how they are looking currently. Now we would take back the property so that it remains transparent until we want that effect to appear. So now we'll work on the logo A image. So we'll give it a width of 100 pixels. No, wait, we do not need to give it. I had to give not even 100%. My bad. Sorry. Okay, it would work still. Like I gave the value in percentages, but it would be the same like this way also. Can't complain. And now I would give it a border radius to make it circular. Let's show you how it looks like. Currently, this is what it looks like. A small image. Now we'll give it a border radius of 50%. And now it's a small but circular image. Wait, I think I made some mistake. The mistake has been corrected. And I'm wondering why those weren't in the nav bar, the elements. Now I realized why. I'm forgetting things. Justify content center and align item center again. And wait, we do not require it for justify content, because justify content center would just create absolute havoc. There would be no benefit of doing it. So let's do space between. And you may not even know what space between is in justify content, because I've been using center rather than space between or space around, etc. I would make a dedicated video about that. Like the mostly used ones, like all the displays, justify contents, and align items. I would surely make one. So keep tuned for that video, but also see this because this would be really helpful to you. I would also give it a max width. And 1200 pixels would do the work for us. And again, margin. I would put it on 0 and auto. Auto because so that it works accordingly. As you can see, things are getting together, although they still look quite bland. My brain is saying to just use a linear gradient here. Let's do it. Use a linear gradient. And I can't even remember how I used the gradients. Okay, we'll keep it for an advanced video. Because, first of all, I can't remember, but also I'm thinking that it won't work as it should. Because sometimes there are problems. So I need to test it before and find a solution beforehand. Like, I know I keep experimenting on things while creating a video, and just deviate from the desired output, but still, at least I take things near to it. But in that way, I may go too far off and the video would get longer, which I wouldn't like. So now we can work on the hover effects. So we are back to the hovers. And first comes for the A tags. Like we'll write now hover and A. This simply says that the anchor tag inside the nav element should have this effect on hover. And I would give it the effect color. And here comes my favorite color, red. And we'll also increase the size. So font size, and it should be 24 pixels. And next comes font weight. And it should again be bold. So let me show you what we did. As you can see, the size is now growing and the color is also changing. And all thanks to the transition property we gave before, that the animation is smooth. Like as you can see the color transition, because we only gave the transition for color. We didn't give it for the text size. Although we can give it, I would just prefer to okay, we have to write font size. As you can see now, the animation is a lot smoother. And I may end up increasing or decreasing the size later on. But for now, we'll focus on the hover effect. That would like seriously make it a lot better, which is simply on the nav elements. We have to change the background color. And I would change the color to aqua. Like it is the exact opposite of the red color. Also, I forgot to add, I think, something. Something should be there. That would make it a lot better. So let's do it. And it's border radius. And I would give it a border radius of 24 pixels because like its height itself is 40 pixels. Okay, we'll go for 20. And now you can see it better. We'll change the sizes a bit. I've realized it. It's because previously I was using the Arial font, but now I'm using a monospace font. So there are changes that need to be done as per the fonts also. Like see this, now it's better. I'll have to extend it a little bit more. 130 would be enough. And also I'll just decrease the size a little bit. Like just take it to 22. Yes, now it's completely covered inside. We can make many more changes. Like there are infinite number of possibilities we can still do just with these codes without adding anything else. Like we can change the colors, we can change the sizes further. I would do a little bit with the sizes. Like I would just love to double the sizes there. Now it's smaller, but now it's bigger. But we also have to take care that it should remain readable. So I would do it to 18. I know it would look bigger, but sometimes a little bit zoom is enough for such things. Also, we add a transition so that it also becomes a little bit smoother. You can simply do this. And we have to write background color there. Maybe just taking it to 4 would be enough. And the thing with web development is that you will have to go through hit and try. Not even web development, for each and every front end development, you'll have to go through hit and try. Because most of the time, you wouldn't be satisfied by whatever you make in the first time. So here we are. We have completed the navigation bar. Also, I would like to inform you that there would be upcoming projects that would be related to these. Like first of all, I would be teaching further more complex navigation bars. Then I may be adding things such as the dark mode button, which is quite prevalent in today's modern era. And we would also be adding other things such as the slider. I created in 2 videos, to be honest. And though I am thinking of such systems that can integrate it and would also look good. So keep tuned for such videos that would be upcoming. I would try to create such videos in between this month or at max the next month. It would be here before the 100th episode for the least. I know it's a lot of time, but obviously it would take some planning to bring you the best content that I can find. So, goodbye. See you in the next video.